Okay, here we go. I think the reason you may getting them confused is because we refer to variable annuities as non-qualified retirement plans. Non-qualified. Now, for us as test takers, what non-qualified means is that we're using after-tax money to fund this thing. So, Coco Goff comes to me. What is Coco now? Well, she's 20 years old. I say, listen, you can't possibly, Coco, spend all the money you're making playing tennis. Why don't you give me $1 million after tax to put in a variable annuity? And that variable annuity has a separate account. It's a mutual fund or sub account. And we're going to put that $1 million in that variable annuity into a separate account. And you, Coco, will be assuming the investment risk. Now, what we're hoping is by the time you're 59 and a half, so that's what, 30, if she's 20, I would say 39 and a half years from now. So she calls me, she says, Dean, what is in my variable annuity? I said, I'm pleased to report, Coco, you now have $10 million in the variable annuity separate account. So a couple of points here right off the bat, Katie. She has a cost basis of $1 million. That's $1 million she's already paid taxes on. Cost basis is when you turn the money into the investment. And now there's 10 million. Now, good news, the money grew tax deferred. I say to Coco, the IRS says to Coco, did you ever get a choice about what to do with that money? And she said, no, those bastards made me reinvest. And since you must reinvest in the separate account, the money is growing tax deferred. And that's why it sounds like a retirement plan, right? That 9 million has been growing tax deferred. Right now, don't do this with the compliance officers because they'll be really mad really quick. But I say, hey, Kate, do you own mutual funds? Do you own the old kind or the new kind? What do you mean? I said, do you pay taxes on the dividends and capital gains distributions? She goes, well, yeah. I said, well, new kind, you don't have to do that. Now, that's total misrepresentation. But in the variable annuity, remember, the mutual fund, it's growing tax deferred. Okay, now she has some choices about how to access the money. One thing Coco can do is say, Dean, I'd like a random distribution. She says, Dean, send me $1 million I originally put in there. Send me back the $1 million. I say, nope. Very testable, all exams. I say, Coco, it's LIFO. Last money's in, our first money's out. If I send you $1 million, it's $1 million of the 9 you have never paid taxes on. She goes, well, at least it's a long-term capital gain. I go, nope. It's taxed at ordinary income. She goes, well, geez, Dean, you should have told me that. I go, yeah, my bad. I'm joking, but you obviously should know that before you invest, right? If she had put $1 million after tax in an index fund, and there was $10 million in there, that'd be $9 million taxed at a long-term capital gain rate. So it's taxed at ordinary income. She could say, Dean, I'd like to annuitize. This is kind of cool. She said, I'd like to turn it into an income stream that I can't outlive. I say, okay, well, the one that will give you the most money is life only. So test question, the payout option, the annuity option that gives her the biggest check is her life only. I say, now, Coco, when you get the first check, I want you to call me because, we need to talk. She says, I'm going to annuitize life only. She calls me. She says, Dean, I got 10 grand. I go, great. She goes, why'd you want to call me and talk to me? I said, because Coco, we need to talk about now what is called the assumed interest rate. You used to have a new accumulation units in the separate account, but now you have what are called annuity units. And your check is going to go up or down based on the assumed interest rate. She goes, what's the error, the assumed interest rate? I'm not going to tell you because it would just cloud your mind. But if we get more than the error, the check goes up. We get less than the error, the check goes down. And so call me again next month. She calls me. She says, Dean, I got 10,100. I said, okay, well, that means we did better than the error. She goes, what's the error? I said, I don't want to tell you. Just cloud your mind. What was the return on the separate account? I said, I don't want to tell you. Just cloud your mind. She goes, damn it. I want to know. I said, well, I'll regret this. The error is 4 and we got 5. It doesn't matter that it's 5, Coco. 4.1 check goes up. And she goes, well, I think I got it. I said, well, my experience has been that people don't get it till the check goes down. So your third check, Coco, is either going to be the same, another 10,100, or it's going to be more, or it's going to be less. Third check, she calls me. She goes, Dean, I got 10,100. I said, we got the AIR, the assumed interest rate. She calls me. She says, Dean, I got my fourth check, 10,000. Please don't. I'm not bumping her all over the place. $100 is going to be a big deal. We're not going to take her from like 10 to 1,000 to 20. No, one annuity unit at a time. Anyways, we got less than the AIR. She goes, how much? I go, it doesn't matter. I don't want to tell you. Just cloud your mind. She goes, damn it, I want to know. 3.9. I say 3.9 is positive performance, but your check still goes down. We have actuaries who are the masters of math and large numbers, and this is one we'll make it play out. So there's an overview of variable annuities. I have an entire lecture and video that you can watch. I have a class coming up. One more point, Kate. We do have variable annuities where you can fund them with pre-tax money. There are a type of annuity that can be funded pre-tax, and those are called tax-sheltered annuities. This is very testable in all exams. And to get a tax-sheltered annuity, Kate, that you could fund with pre-tax money, you would have to be an employee of a 403B educational institution. Teacher, by the way, not just a teacher, could be the nurse at the school, the janitor at the school, not students, or the employee of a nonprofit, like a nonprofit hospital, 501c. Not just the doctors, the nurses, the janitors, but not the patients. So that's a nice overview.